Hogville's Dudley Dawson with us on halftime on a Thursday morning. And just like Matt had said, for those who are doing a lot post-game, hosting a post-game show, going to bed by 3:30, waking up early. Dudley, you must have done some of the same stuff covering last night's game. So did you get enough sleep?
Yes. In fact, the new puppy slept in this morning. He's getting trained really well. So we're good. We're ready to go.
Great win last night. Team really seems to feed off the crowd's energy as well. That's 2 games in a row. I think you could say maybe the crowd is a main reason why they got over the top.
I think so, and obviously they're playing with some urgency. Also, things happened outside the arena last night in other arenas that helped them. I think they put themselves in a really good position. You win 2 of 3, I think you're definitely in. Maybe if you win 1 of 3, I don't know. But the fact that, this to me was kind of like a little play-in game last night between them and Texas, because they would have split the series if, they would have split the series, if Texas had come here and won, but now they have 2 wins over Texas. You've got to win over Georgia, if it's a head-to-head down at the end with them. And Oklahoma lost, which, after they got a big win over the weekend, but they lost, and that's the one team that has a win over you that you might be looking back later on. But I think everything went well for them.
Dudley, what do you think? Everybody's talking about how this is the best conference in college basketball. 12 of the 16 teams make the tournament. I know I've seen somewhere where there was a projection of 13, and I don't think any time ever have 13 teams out of one conference made the tournament. How many teams do you think make the tournament at the SEC?
I was looking at the standings and counting, and I think you can get 12 in there. I'm not sure about 13 because, again, you're looking at Oklahoma, some other ones. I think Vanderbilt has, pretty much assured themselves the spot, obviously. And Arkansas has slowly ascended those rankings over or standings over the other teams, and I think they've put themselves in good shape.
6-4 in our last 10.
Yes, yeah. I mean, and that certainly was better than 1-6 in your first 7. So, I got to give them credit. The Coach Cal's done a great job, and again, they're playing with urgency. They played defense really well, even when a guy goes for 39. I thought they did a decent job on him, if that makes any sense.
Well, what have you seen with the progression of Nelly Davis? Because my watching him play the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's like he's going downhill a little bit more. He is our best free throw shooter. Doesn't mean you can't shoot threes, but keep attacking. It seems like we do attack. It seems like I don't know if maybe he got more comfortable once he had to take more of the ball handling roles with Wagner when Boogie Flan left. But Nelly Davis seems like he's progressing really nice over the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and I do think that Arkansas hated to lose Boogie Flan. Of course, he was playing really well, but the jigsaw puzzle is fitting better right now when it comes to terms of Nelly Davis. As you said, he's going downhill more. He's making some shots early, and that's big for him because of the slump he was in. And he's a volume shooter, and while he's not just firing it willy-nilly, he is taking what I think are much better shots and much better shots in the flow of things. And by that I mean that the first shot may not be the one you need to take. It's the best shot, and I think he's doing that a lot better in this last stretch of games.
A lot of teams will talk about somebody gets hurt, you got to have the next man up mentality. It's just a little odd in this situation that the next man up in these cases are maybe the 2 biggest names that you got out of the transfer portal, because when Boogie got hurt, to me, that starts to coincide where Nelly started to turn things around, which I think had to have coincided with his wrist just feeling a lot better and getting back into the flow of being a basketball player. And now you got a do out, and we don't know how long, and it looks like Jonas Adu is coming around as well, which means that his foot, which needed surgery, must be feeling good finally, and he's getting back into the flow. So it's like if you get 2 guys, your best players, and I think Adu and Boogie may be the two most talented players, but now you got the experienced guys that you've been waiting for who are now coming around.
Yeah, I agree totally. And also, I think you've got this great play from Carter Knox and Billy Richmond and those guys in the roles that they're in right now. They have both really come on since the first of the season. Those 2 guys weren't getting a lot of playing time at the start of the year, or not as much playing time as I know they thought they they should be getting, and they've made some big plays, energetic plays, the kind that get both the crowd and the team going. And I think that's that's a big deal. I do think the whole Boogie Flan thing. Everybody, as soon as Boogie Flan got hurt, everybody pitched him to the side, or most fans pitched him to the side. So that's not going to happen. I think there's something to a chip on the shoulder and being 1-6, and people telling you can't do something. And finally, the urgency switch flipped on for them, and they've started playing. It looks from the outside like they care more. I know that's probably not a proper assessment, but it sure looks that way.
They're playing team defense better, and I think one of the things that I really like about this team is there's not a lot of selfishness. They play selfless. They are trying to make the right play, and that's 2 games in a row, Dudley, where if you were in the started 5, that you were efficient and you had double-digit scoring.
Yeah, and one of the key, I think, things in analytics these days is the plus minus in a basketball game, and we're seeing the guys who are in that shortened rotation now having a much better plus minus, and that that obviously is going to happen to you when you're scoring more points and you're winning. But I think that's been a key. Those guys that are in that rotation are putting out more positives in the minutes they've earned than the negatives. And again, I'm going to go back to I have never seen a team miss as many shots around the rim as this team did during that 1-6 start. They're finally putting those in, and not all of them are going down, but it's a much better than what it used to be. I mean, that was just it was a quandary for them that they were getting good shots and they weren't going inside at least.
Just listening to the tea leaves from the announcers and from coaches, I'm not expecting a Duthero back anytime soon, and maybe he'll be done for the year. I don't know. Do you have any information?
Not any more than anybody else has heard. It's kind of tight-lipped over there. The fact that they ruled him out was not that he wasn't even probable means that's going to be, I think, a little bit like the Gage thing with Gage Wood. He's going to have to get comfortable to be able to play, not only healed.
All right, so then I see yesterday Z has a brace on his back when he's sitting on the bench. You could see he was holding it a little, and then Carter Knox was on the injury report as probable. I forget if it was Kenny Payne or if it was Coach Martin in the postgame, because they both did postgame talks, who said something about an accident that Knox had, and he fought and got himself ready to play. So, you don't need any more injuries. Certainly the nagging ones, you anticipate those will happen, but you got to have everybody that's healthy.
Yeah, everybody's got some bump and bruises right now, and because of the way you went about building this team and really, pretty much saying you're going to have 9 players to play, if you've got some of those injured, that rotation is really short right now. I love the deal that the other guys are here for practice, but now it doesn't look like the best decision to me.
Hey Dudley, I want to ask you a little NBA talk since we're kind of getting down to it. Is the Eastern Conference a 2-team race? And I'm not hating on New York or Indiana, Milwaukee. I mean, I know there's some talented teams, but is it coming down to? Are you buying in? I guess what I'm saying is, are you buying into Cleveland? Could they actually win it all this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think so. And the fact that they added DeAndre Hunter, I think, was great for them as far as the points he can bring and how he can match up with our wings in Boston. I do think that the Knicks have established themselves as a good team unless they're playing Boston and Cleveland. They just can't compete with them. And Oklahoma City, I guess, as well. I think they're 0-9 now against those 3 teams.
I won't be watching much NBA for right now. Probably not until the finals, if at that. But I won't be watching much.
Dude, I'm all about. I love my basketball, but I'm all about baseball. I'll have 3 TVs on spring training games at noon. So anybody stand out for you? I saw Hagen Smith made his debut yesterday. Yeah, and I had him on. I didn't realize he was going to get the pitch, but had him on. He did a really good interview after it was over with. I mean, he appears as confident in himself as I think he was here, and said all the right things. And they're going to bring him along. And much like you do in spring training, he'll have the opportunity to break camp with him. I don't think he's going to do that. Boy, they're going to get him up as soon as that they can in a situation. It's like a Razorback fest there now.
Yeah. I mean, you got Fletcher there too, and I know there's Michael Turner. So I think there were five players from the Razorbacks that were with the White Sox. But your Cardinals going to find a way to get. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off on that.
No, I was saying Baltimore needs to go ahead and trade Heston over there. So I mean, he can get the time. He had a hit yesterday, but they've just got too many jigsaw puzzles to get him regular playing time out there.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like he's a piece for the trading deadline? I thought he was last year too.
Yeah, I did too. And hey, I think he'd look great in right field in St. Louis, but we're not spending money. So.
Well, you guys are trying to trade Nolan Arenado. It doesn't seem like they can find a place for him to actually accept. That seems to be a pretty important piece for St. Louis to try to move on.
He is my favorite player, has been my favorite player for a while, even though he wasn't on the Cardinals. And I'm happy he's still with us, but I know that it's not going to happen down the line, that something has to happen probably at the trade deadline.
That's tough when your favorite player just has that precipitous drop, doesn't it? I mean, I've seen it with some of my favorite guys before. It's not fun to watch.
Yes, and even on defense, he wasn't as great defensively as he was last year. He was taking his bat to the field. So.
Yeah, gives you an appreciation for how long Brooks was able to play that position.
Absolutely. I mean, the greatest third baseman of all time.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.